5 things I wish I knew about trading before I got started in trading. So I'm not gonna be a clickbaiter. I'll just list all 5 out real quick now, and if you guys want to hear my reasons behind them, you guys can watch the whole video. So number 1, invest in a mentorship or coursework. Number 2, using a demo account and actually using it, not just using it for a week, thinking I know everything, and going on to a live account. Number 3, getting funded with a prop firm. Would save you a lot of money if you just learn and get funded with a prop firm rather than you having to go work really hard and save some money and put that in a live account. Now, number 4, consistency. I gave up along my journey and bad choice. Then I had to restart it. Number 5, discipline. That's about it. So I'm gonna go through every single one right now. So first one I mentioned was mentorship and coursework. Yes, I do sell my course and mentorship, which the coursework will be free soon, probably within like the next week of you guys seeing this video. But the main reason I say mentorship and coursework is because I'm one of those hard-headed people, and I thought that I could learn everything on my own. And I sort of did, sort of didn't, right? I did have that whole iMarkets Live start where I learned a little bit of the basic information and went on my own and searched up everything that I had to. So my main reason behind that is saving yourself time and headache, right? Trading is really hard as it is, even when you have all the information. So by hindering myself and not paying for a course or mentorship, which really wasn't that many back then, I started trading about 2.5, 3 years ago. So a lot of people that are up and at it now weren't there back then. So I would definitely go back, save myself some time, save some money, invest in a course or mentorship so I could fast track my process and learn a lot faster and comprehend things and actually have someone I could ask questions to, right? And I feel like that was the biggest struggle I had as a trader, was I had a lot of questions that I couldn't get answers for. I didn't know anybody else doing it. I wasn't, I was hard-headed and I didn't want to reach out to people and pay someone and so on and so forth. I'm not saying this is the route you have to take. I've been saying this is a route I would have taken if I would have been able to backtrack a couple years. So number 2, using a demo account. What I mean by that is simply sticking to a demo account while I was learning. Like I said, I was a hard-headed person, and I still am sort of, but I would use a demo account for like 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, great, I'm winning a bunch of trades, being profitable, a couple losses, of course, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm ready for the real deal. I'll go fund an account with a couple grand and blow it, obviously, because it was very different, and I didn't have the discipline or the consistency or the proper trading strategy, if I'm being honest with you. Like my first year was a loss completely. Like I was just blowing accounts left and right, learning the hard way, basically just asking myself, why can't I figure this out if everyone else can? And then, a couple things clicked, and fast forward, I'm where I'm at now. And so for number 3, getting funded with a prop firm. This didn't exist 3 years ago. That I can guarantee you was not a thing. FTMO, my forex funds, all those things, nada, nothing, no existence. So by blowing all those live funds, it put me in a lot of bad places in the starting, right? Because I'm 22 now. I was like 18 when I started. That was not fun to blow all the money I had, and then obviously have to work a 9 to 5 and go from there. So if I could just leverage, a little bit of capital into a lot of capital with funding accounts, right? So let's say a 100K account would cost you about $500, which is, it's a pretty good price, and you get that refund after you pass phase 1 and phase 2 and you get funded, which is super cool. And that's a route I wish I would have been able to take, and I wish it would have been an option, frankly, because it wasn't an option. So it's not really something I had the option of doing anyways. But thank God now there are prop firms, and I recommend it to all my students and all that if they don't have that much capital and they want to fast track their way on having a larger account. Number four would be consistency. The main reason I say consistency is because you need to be consistent in trading. You need to be in the game long enough to actually see some of the money and see the progression, right? I didn't really journal per se, but I kept like a mental track of what I was doing wrong, and I'd write it. I guess it was journaling. My bad. Scratch that. Was it what I meant? But you need to have a track and timeline. Okay, this week I did this wrong, and I should have done this, right? Next week I did this, and that. I did this great, but I did this wrong, right? So by that, I was being able to see my progression through a long time span. So a couple months in, I'm like, okay, great. That's when things were cooking for me. After that, I was like, okay, look, I'm fixing this, and this. Now I can optimize this and be better. And then this goes hand in hand with number 5. Number 5 is discipline. And what I mean by discipline, which is a little different than consistency, is being disciplined to my trading strategy. There were a lot of times in the beginning where I had a trading strategy, I had my checklist, I had all the stuff that I should be looking in the trade, but I just wasn't, right? Like I'll look at 1 or 2 confluences and I'm like, I'm done. This is it. I'm in the trade, all in, up my lot size, risk way more than I should have, and blow the account, or just lose a large side of the account and then put me in a huge deficit. So discipline is what's going to save you a lot, and it's hard to gain discipline if you don't come from a very disciplined background, or you haven't done any of the activities or jobs that would have discipline. So those are my 5 tips that I wish I knew. Well, not 5 tips, 5 things I wish I knew back then before I started trading. Would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of money, and that's why I'm making this video for you guys, so you guys can save all that time and money and progress rather than digress and then have all these headaches that you got to deal with. Also, if you continue watching the video, you're going to see a bonus live trade that I'm going to take and a setup that I'll include. And I'm going to do that for every single video. So if you guys do watch throughout the whole entire video, this little segment of me talking, you will get a bonus of a trade that you guys can take within the upcoming weeks. I'll try to do a large swing trade. We are in the holidays, Q4, so volume is pretty low. So for the most part, a lot of people aren't doing crazy amount of trades, just because it's not favorable, it's not good, the market's not the best to be trading. And as a trader, it's your job to be able to know when to be in the market, when not to be in the market. Frankly, right now, usually during December and the holidays, but Q4 in general is not the best time to be over trading. So with that said, hope you guys enjoy and stay tuned for the next part.